Hey everybody, Cindy Dayjack here with Queen Bee Creations. And this video is definitely another thrift flip because I am way behind on dealing with the big pile of thrifted items that are happening here. They're getting big. So I have to get a bunch of things done and I'm gonna take you with me. So I have this thrifted frame that I also have some thrifted silverware, and somehow those are going together. I have this big decor piece, the lovely kind of fleur-de-lis style kind of finial. I have a little wooden chicken that he just needs another paint job. He's all scratched up and stuff. So it's not all big, intricate things, but it needs help. This guy, I need to zhuzh up. He's got a little chip, he's got a crack across his head, he's all glued together, but he needs to get painted so he looks cohesive. I have this little watering can. I want to leave a bunch of it tin, but I'm gonna use a lot of stuff from the new ephemeral transfer from IOD. I'm loving this. I think it looks perfect for spring and for summer, so don't be surprised that I'm using a number of decor items. But I've got this tin, and I also have this tin, which I don't think I'm looking to paint. I love the older looking color of the tin. So this one I think is gonna stay natural, but it's gonna need to transfer some zhuzhing. A cute little wood basket. I have this riser. I have this metal candlestick holder. And I have this big guy, which at first I was thinking of it for plants, and I still think it'd be cool for outside for plants. But when I got it home and I started looking at it, it actually has these cutouts here. And so I'm thinking it's actually for wine glasses and wine bottles. And I didn't see that one coming. So I'm gonna finish it and then I'll maybe stage it up both ways, and people who buy it can do whatever the heck they want to do with it. But I think it would be perfect for flowers and then hanging even some of your gardening items and that sort of thing from here. But you know what? If people love it and want to do their wine with it, I am so okay with that. But I'm looking at doing quick little flips for all of these items, and y'all are going to be here to be with me and see what I do to be able to zhuzh them up and sell them in the shop. So let's get started. Before we get started on doing a lot of our transfers or decorative elements, we've got to start with the painting. We've got to get the base stuff on. So I have a whack of stuff that I'm going to be doing white. I'm going to paint this white. I'm going to do this white. Don't know about the big, I think I'm gonna do a color on this, or I might do copper or something, who knows. This I'm not painting, so we're leaving that alone. I'm gonna paint this, but I think I'm gonna paint it green. So I'm gonna do apothecary on this. I'm gonna do apothecary on all the bottom part of these little jars. I'm gonna paint the riser white. I'm going to paint this white, and I'm going to dry brush this with apothecary and then with white. So I'm going to leave a lot of the inside, the kind of gray, because I kind of like that. I'll let some of it show, but I'll add a little bit more color to that too. So I'm just going to get started painting a bunch of stuff. I'm going to start with some of I'm going to start with apothecary because I want the apothecary on here first. I'm going to get everything done that I need. Oh Lord, in apothecary. I can hear you all saying, why don't you clean your jars better? Because I don't. I will just continue to struggle. Sorry, I know that. All right. So I'm gonna get some things done in apothecary, and look at how I hang on. Like my brush is glued. glued and taped together, you know, waste not, want not. Okay, so I'm gonna get the base of these little guys painted in green, and I'm gonna get the base of this, just the round section painted in green. And I'm going to grab a chip brush and dry brush that big guy with my apothecary green as well. While I've got paint projects drying, let's jump over to our mirrored frame. Now, what I have done, let me take this all apart, is remove the backing and discovered that the mirror was actually glued down into this frame. So what I had to do was take a knife and kind of tease away all that glue to be able to remove the mirror, because the mirror doesn't work for me. I had thought maybe it would just pop out, and didn't realize it was just glued in there. So we had to get rid of it. But then I used the mirror as a template for the size that I needed. And in particular, I cut out a piece of cardboard that was that size, and then also a couple of layers of burlap. I'm not sure if I need 2 or not, but while I was at it, I thought, sure, because I'm gonna lay this down over top of my cardboard, and then this is gonna be visible to, we're gonna pop this into the frame. So that's gonna be visible. And I'm not sure if, yeah, I guess that'd be okay. So we need to glue this down. We need to attach it to our cardboard. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to glue around the edge and fold this down in, and then do the same to the bottom edge, because that allows me to start pulling my fabric taut and just gives me the opportunity to control. Oh my goodness, everything's stuck on my glue gun. So it just gives me the opportunity to begin to control how it's going to look. Now, here's my caution, both to you and to me as I'm doing this, that the burlap is kind of porous. It's got holes. So as I am, let me try and find something to do this. As I'm trying to push it down tight, that glue is going to seep up through those little holes. So watch your fingers, which is my caution to you, but mostly it's my caution to me because I always forget, and then I'm forever burning myself with the glue. So I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom, is just put kind of a solid bead of glue along there, and then pull my fabric taut and pull it above that and anchor it down with the hot glue. So I'll do that for the other sides as well, so that I ultimately have burlap fronting the front of my tray. You saw me painting with the Apothecary these little pots. I got these from the thrift store for $3.99, and I got a bag of 12 of them. So pretty inexpensive. I'm thinking of doing the lineup of 5 of these along our little raised tray that we painted, our raised wooden tray that we painted white. Obviously, you can put anything onto that tray, but I figured it would sell a little better in the shop if we had a little decorative item. So, painted them green so they'd be a little bit of a contrasting color. And what I'm looking at doing is decorating them a little bit. So, I have the knob topper stamp from IOD. Now, this is a discontinued stamp, so as of my posting of this video, I still have 2 in the shop. There are other locations that sell the IOD products that probably also still have these in stock in inventory. So if you don't have one, you know, you can look around and find them. And as much as they are for stamping on top of knobs, personalizing knobs on your furniture, I love these for if you do journaling, then they're perfect little decor stamps. I like them just in a row on fabrics, and perfect for little pots. I mean, they are so much more versatile, and I think that the knob topper name led people astray in terms of thinking of what they could do. So I got 5 pots, so I'm thinking 5 little designs. This one is a little bee with a crown and some laurel. Ooh, this one is a rooster with Paris, the word Paris and stuff. Okay, that one's cool. They're so cool, these little guys. To get off. So you're just gonna wanna make sure that you get them the right side up when you go to stamp them. What else would be a cool one? I mean, there's suns and teapots and, you know, de France, Paris with a little fleur-de-lis and lay roses. There's a butterfly one. Oh, okay, I'm gonna do the butterfly one. Oh wait, there's a hair. Like that hair, like a bunny hair. Let me do the bunny hair. And there's a sheep. Okay, this is cool. Okay, what am I at? I'm at 4. Oh, 4. What does that say? De France. I mean, there's green sack stripes. There's clocks. Guys, I just love this. This is one of my favorite little stamps. I'm gonna do the dragonfly. Okay, so I have a bee and a dragonfly and 3 little animals. Okay, and to do this, we are just simply going to take our ink pad, and I've got the IOD black ink for this, so it's a permanent ink. I have not sealed this yet or sanded it because I want to maybe give this a little bit of a distressed look. And once you've got the ink on, you can at least see your image and see what direction your little animals are facing. And you're just going to want to press it on. I mean, look how cute that is. So I'm thinking I am going to do front and back on these, just so that whichever direction they're sitting. So I just want to get it roughly opposite each other. I mean, nobody's gonna curse me if it's not exact. All right, maybe I might a little bit. So cute, cute, cute. Okay, one done, and it's not exactly halfway, so good thing I said I didn't care. All right, and then just, if you have, like I've got paper down, you can just press your stamp on the paper to be able to clean off the excess. Let's do, I want to do the rooster. Okay, let's do the rooster. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing for each of these patterns, for each of the stamps on each of my little jars. See, look at the little rooster. Okay, you guys, so cute. All right, I'm gonna carry on doing my stamping and admire my work, and then I'll come back at you with some of the next. I've got another item. Well, let's just jump to it. So I'm gonna finish these guys off camera, and let's just jump to this one then, since I'm gonna be stamping it as well. And what I want to do is I have another stamp for my OD, which is like the label one. So you've got marmalades and Devonshire cream and Dijon mustards and thick cream and that kind of stuff. So what I'm looking at is I want to do one on either side, and I just want to make sure that it fits okay, right? So like that's gonna be too tall, that's too tall. Oh, I'm gonna do the Dijon Grey Poupon. Grey Poupon. It fits, and I like that mustard. Especially in my, there. Okay, I was wondering why the gray looked reverse, and it's because I had it upside down. That would make a difference. So careful, make sure you can read it properly before you stamp it. Okay, so I like cooking with this mustard actually, and especially in things like potato salad. A little bit of this in it is awesome. So once you put it down, don't move it around. I'm always gonna keep one hand on it to make sure it stays in the same place as I take other fingers trying to push it around. So I wanna make sure that I don't smudge it and then when I go to lift it, it's right away. So cute, cute. I'm just gonna do the reverse on this, do the rest of my little pots with the rest of my little knob toppers, and then we'll meet up again as I carry on with each of these. See ya. While we're waiting for things to dry, we have a couple of elements that we can add some of our ephemeral transfer to. So this is one of the smaller sized transfers, but it has like 4 pages of floral transfers in kind of this 8x12 format, and then 4 pages of the smaller transfers. So we, of course, need to flip to the smaller transfers for what we're looking to do. All right, and again, I need elements that are gonna fit. Just makes sense. So this one's a possibility. So let me just cut out some of them that might work. So this would work on either, you know, our tin purse, or could be quite nice on this. Kind of digging it on this, so we'll see. And these guys are going to be too tall for either of my projects, I think. Yeah, I would totally lose that. So that last page is too big. So I think I have these pages to choose from. All right, so I'm gonna pull this one out because I like this long label across the top, and we'll look for maybe something to go below it. So I'm going to just get these cut out and get prepared, and then come back at you with the options that I've chosen. So many. For both of these projects, what I decided on was a main side where I'm gonna have the bigger transfer, and then I will do like a little tiny transfer on the reverse, sort of, you know how sometimes like the book cover has a little tiny picture, the front The back has a little tiny, front has a big one. And then this one, I'm gonna put the big transfer on what I'm perceiving to be the front because I'm right-handed. So I'm considering if I'm holding it in the right, I want the large transfer facing me. And then I will do the small transfer on the back. Sorry, left-handed people. It's just the way my logic is going, but more people are right-handed, so sorry. All right, so I'm gonna start with this, and with any of these transfers, you just simply peel off the paper backing, lay this out where you want, and I'm gonna use my 2 handles as kind of my center, and then we take the little kind of embellishing or embossing tool, I mean the stick, and we're going to rub that transfer onto our project. And this is a little bit, this is textured, it's got a little bit of a rough surface, but you can see how easily that transfer is going on. And then I like to take the backing paper, shiny side down, and just sort of rub over it. This is called in burnishing. It's the word that I forgot. It's called burnishing, but what we're doing is we're just making sure that all aspects of that transfer are really adhered to our project. And look how awesome that looks, right? That just goes on so nicely. So I'm gonna take my other one and I'm gonna do the same. And then I will attach onto this one as well. Same way, same method. Had it upside down, that would have been bad. I'm just gonna carry on with these 2. Okay, the chicken has been painted white and I am going to distress it, but rather than just have it looking like a cleaned up version of what it was, what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these little pieces of scrapbooking paper. This is yellow with pale white polka dots, which I think will be cute. And I am going to decoupage them onto the wing. So I'm going to take my decoupage medium, which is my DIY liquid patina, coat the wing, glue this down, and then we're gonna sand it. So I'm gonna do that on both sides. So I think it'll just be a little cuter with the little yellow wings. That's my plan. So we're just going to paint our decoupage medium, and you could use whatever one you got on the go. But I'm gonna get this on, and my paper is fairly thick, so I'm not too worried about it buckling or anything on this. But I'm gonna be heavily distressing the whole piece, so no problem. So I'm just gonna try and get my polka dot sort of even. And then do the same thing on the other side and let them dry. Okay, it is time to kind of start doing some of our wrap up with a couple of projects. So I have clear wax from DIY and my little pots. And I am just going to wax these little guys up. They've been lightly sanded, so just to kind of smooth them out a little bit. I'm just going to seal them up with some wax. And then I'll show you where we're going. Okay, so lightly waxed, and oh my goodness, usually I just kind of take a little cloth and wipe off any of the excess. What I do have is just a little bit of floral foam cut down to just kind of squish in to the little pots. So just a little bit, nothing major. And then we're gonna take, super messy, a little bit of Spanish moss. And we're just gonna kind of tuck this in just to cover up that foam, fill in the holes, and then I can't be bothered trying to always get those little stragglers, so I just cut them off. Just a little easier. All right. Okay, so we have our little pot. We have a big mess. Scooch that off to the side. And then I have some little thrifted, almost like lilacs. They're not quite, but these were just in a big bunch that I picked up for $2.99 from the thrift store. And then I have little bits of greenery. I'll show you what this came from, that I also thrifted. It came off of this big guy. It's old, it's tired looking. It's got this old sponge foam core and some red berries. And, you know, I'm just slowly pulling all these little pieces of greenery out and using them up. And then I will do something with the pot once that's done. So all I'm looking at doing is tucking that sort of lilac into the center. And just adding a couple of little pieces of the greenery in beside it. So it's got the moss around it, so it doesn't need tons, but just a little bit, I think. Okay, whoops, this guy is scooching down too low. So I need a bit more foam here. And more. Better. Okay. That's better. My flowers started sinking and everything started getting small. Yes, better. All right. We'll add our little bit of greenery. And the idea with this is that I have these 5 little pots that I can stage in a row along that whole tray that we haven't finished yet. So let's pop these off to the side because they're done. And what I do want to do is I want to recall my chicken and just kind of sand this off a little bit. I'm just looking to see if I've got better sandpaper. So I want to sand the edge. Which will, in essence, cut that paper around that entire edge. So right around that whole chicken wing. Chicken wings, there's a thought. Okay. But we're just going to be cutting that off, and that's the easiest way to get that to cut really nicely, really smoothly. And just perfectly in line with the whole wing. I like it with that yellow. So what I am going to do on the other side as well is I am just also going to go around and distress the edges of it. So this gets sanded and distressed, the other wing cleaned off as well, and then everything gets a coat of clear wax to finish. So that's what's happening with that one. This one needs a light sanding, so just really light, just to clean up the edges and just to smooth out that paint, and then it's getting clear wax. This one is also getting clear wax. Clear wax and then maybe something. I'm debating. Okay, no. So this is getting clear wax, this is getting clear wax, put them over there. And then this big guy is also getting clear wax, right? So this is our whitewashed. We've got the green dry brushing. We've got the white dry brushing. That's going to get just clear wax as well, and then it's done. This big tray needs some sanding. So I want to do like an overall sand just to smooth out that paint. Just kind of knocks off those edges, right? Makes it all feel nice and smooth to the touch. And then I am going to distress it heavier around all the edges so that I get that nice black line showing, right? So this gets sanded, has all of that showing, and then it gets clear waxed. Okay, so all those are my clear wax things, and this. So this also needs to get sanded and distressed. So sanded to kind of show, so I want it sanded lightly, and then I do want to have distressing to reveal that black underneath. So some of that edging showing, okay, around the whole piece and up around these top edges too. So I'm going to be sanding all this down, doing the exposing, and then this gets clear waxed. So this is just clear waxed as well. Okay. That's it for my clear wax. Now, let me move on to my white wax. So I'm using white wax from DIY. So let me open that up. I'm just opening my clear wax as well, just so I have a little bit of that on the go. And a white wax brush. And this guy. So I am going to white wax over this. I am not going to do a clear wax first. And I am just going to grab out of my box a clean rag. So what I'm doing, so I've got my white wax, and I am going to white wax the piece. And I'm just using a chip brush that I have used for white wax. And I'm kind of covering the whole thing. What I really want to do is get down into a lot of those details, a lot of those grooves of the piece. And I'm just going to do this top section first, because then I want to wipe it away. Now, because I did not seal this with clear wax first, this white wax is not going to wipe away from all of my paint. It is going to, in essence, then change the color of my black paint. Because right now, that paint is soaking up that wax, right? So when I go to wipe it back, it's sealing my piece, but I'm not going to be able to take it back to like a pure black as I would maybe be able to do if I had clear waxed it first. But what you end up getting is this kind of gray, weathered sort of look. And that white wax sitting down in all those low spots. See what that looks like? See how that kind of highlights that all up? it just creates that lovely kind of weathered wood look. So nice. Just look at all those fabulous details highlighted by that wax. Just amazing. We just need to leave this to dry overnight. We can choose to buff it if we want, or just kind of leave it as it is once that's happened. But just the detail that pops is just crazy, crazy. That's just awesome. Now, the other piece that we've got kind of on the go is this big, bold copper piece. So what we're gonna do with this one, let me grab another brush here, is we're gonna wax this one as well. And I have two products. I have the DIY Shipwrecked wax, which is this beautiful deep turquoise. And we are going to do the same thing. We're gonna cover the whole thing in this turquoise color. And I especially want to get it down into some of those swirls of the piece, some of those lows. So really kind of working it down in. And this is why usually for like working these waxes into these pieces, I just use chip brushes. And when I'm done with it, I will take just a paper towel and I will wipe out as much of the wax as I can. I don't end up washing these. And then I will use the white one for my white wax, right? This one for the blue. Hard to not be able to know which one is which when you go to work them. Okay, so there's my turquoise wax. Now, I have this cloth that I was using to wipe off the white wax off of the black. So you can see that it took off a little bit of the black paint along with it. It's going to be okay on this because I still want to be able to, I still have some other things, and if it dulls it down a little bit, that's okay. So you can see already that it kind of dulls it down a little bit. We get a little bit of that green sitting in those lows. And I want to be careful about, like here, I got a little bit too much off in the creases because they aren't particularly deep up the tops. So I want to watch for that because I want to leave some of that detail in there. And so I want to be able to leave that wax to dry. And then that way it'll stay on the piece better. Okay, so you can see how that wax kind of tones down some of that coppery look. The other thing that I want to do while the piece is a little bit dry is take my Decrepit dust from DIY. So this is, in essence, dark and decrepit in a dust form. It's kind of like a brown color. And what I want to do is I just want to kind of brush it on while my wax is still a little bit wet, so it gives us something to stick to. And in essence, I'm kind of aging it in places. So if you look closely, you can see that this looks a little bit darker because I have that decrepit dust brushed on over there. So I'm just doing it over some of the highs so that, again, it just gives it a little bit more of a patina effect, and I'm dulling down some of those bright copper hues, and I'm doing it over those highs as opposed to the turquoise, which is sitting down in the lows. But you can see how much that kind of ages it all versus that side. Okay, now, I didn't forget that we had this board to contend with still, but I had actually realized I only had some really small sewing needles here at the shop, and that wasn't gonna cut it to get through this cardboard. So what I do have now is some big honkin' needles. And I don't think I need to use the super long ones, which are gonna come in really handy if I'm doing some furniture recovering and stuff. So it's awesome. But I wanted to have something that was substantial enough to be able to get through. And so I've got some thread that looks sort of the same color. And here's what I'm looking to do. Now, my particular frame, I mean, I could put a backing or a hook on it so that it would hang whichever way I want. But it's currently got a hook for it to hang in a diamond shape. And I kind of think, old eyes, I need help. I kind of think that's kind of cool. Just for a change. Everything hanging in the shop is squared off. So we're gonna work with that. And what we have, remember, I had all those antique silver plated, maybe they're silver plated, maybe they're sterling silver. Well, I can't read that far, so we'll just go with silver plated, and if they're not, bonus to whomever gets it. Okay, so what I'm looking at doing is kind of hanging them like this. I need to leave enough space for the frame. So we're gonna go a little bit over to this side, a little bit here. So kind of like this. Now, the difference with this is that if I just glue it, it's gonna come detached. So what I wanted to do was kind of sew them on a bit so that they're gonna stay. But I've got to go through the cardboard. So, let's see how that goes. So far that didn't feel too bad. And I did this so there's a little loop in the back and I can just catch it. And what I want to do is just go through this enough times that in essence, that's gonna hang, because the upper part of the handle, see how it's doing it already? The upper part of the handle is thicker than the part that I'm sewing in. And this is neutral enough that you don't really see. I'm not sure that I'm gonna want or need any other embellishments when I get it into my frame. I have a silver toned frame, which is kind of silver and got slight gold undertones, almost like it's tarnished too, which I think will work well with the look of my tarnished silver items here. So I don't need tons. I think that's all that I need. So get this just kind of knotted off. And that should be enough to keep it. I don't need to have it sewn in multiple places. I just really need it, I need it to hang. I need it to hang and to be attached to this. And it's this reason that I didn't just do my, I didn't just cover the mirror with the burlap, because I wouldn't have been able to have sewn through the mirror. Oh, I don't have any nails to be able to pull this out. There we go. All right, so triple knotted should do it. Awesome. So there's one hanging in there. 3 more to go, and then I'll have you come on back and we'll pop it in the frame and we'll see what it looks like. But I'm kind of digging it. All right, I'm gonna carry on. And this is about the amount of hand stitching or hand sewing that I can handle. And here's finished little diamond. I think that's super cute, and I think that the silver frame complements this really well because it's kind of a, you know, tarnished kind of silver layout on this. So let me show you the other items now that they're finished. So we did the frame with the tarnished silver plated spoons. We have this all redone. Now obviously candle holder, we could easily, you know, put a couple of pots with a candle or something. So some bowls filled with nuts or candies or those kinds of things, as well as with the florals. So I think that that's super cute, just in the, you know, kind of rustic look. We also have this little guy all done. So we had the riser that we thrifted these little pots, painted them up, stamped them out with the knob topper stamp, which is just so cute on these, isn't it? And then just a little bit of faux greenery that I also thrifted. So pretty inexpensive. Let me see for a second here. Let me try and give you an idea. If I look at the mirror, the frame that I had, and the cutlery, that was $3, burlap fabric, so maybe $5 total in terms of that particular craft. This little guy, what did I get for it? Oh, rectangular candle holder. So that was maybe $6. This one, the large wood riser, plus those little pots, this completed cost me maybe $5. So I'm sitting there averaging in between the $5 and $6 for those bigger craft items. Now, if we go into some of our other little pots, so we have this little guy, which, you know, again, put a little floral in, super, super cute, right? So our little watering can with our sticker, this comes in maybe about $4. We have our little transfer purse, and again, it, you know, stick a little bit of faux greenery in that. You could easily hang this on a wall, put it on a shelf in a riser, but this little metal purse comes in at about $3.50 with the transfer on it. We have, this adorable little wooden bucket that, again, I mean, you could fit a couple of florals in there very easily and be able to dress up any little space. And this wooden bucket with the paint, because this was the stamp that we did, comes in at about $3. We're coming in really, really close. Now, we've got our larger reach, our rooster, and I love the finish on that. So we took that bright copper, we dulled it down with our turquoise wax, we had a little bit of decrepit dust to it, and look how awesome he looks. So regal. The rooster we got for a little bit under $5 with the paint and the waxes that we used, maybe $1. So $6 in total for him in terms of cost, not what I'm selling it for. And our big fleur-de-lis, which looked pretty shaky. It looked really old and kind of worn. This looks awesome now. So this fleur-de-lis with the paint and the wax, $6. We've got our little chicken off to the side. That's just super cute. Now with its little decoupaged wings on both sides. So we've got the decoupaged wings. And all told, that comes in at probably about $3.50. And one more thing, right? We had this big piece, big wooden piece, which again, I just like. It's lightened up a little bit. We've got a little bit, we used the gray that was already on it. We added some of the green. We have the opportunity, it does hold wine bottles. I checked to make sure, so you can fit it with wine bottles. but super cute as well to just drop in a lot of trailing flowers. You can use it quite easily out in your backyard. You know, you want to hide a bottle of wine in there, go right ahead. So super cute as well. And this, with the paint, a little bit of the wax that we used on this, we're topping out $10 maximum on this one. So hopefully gives you an idea. I mean, all of those, if you have your own booth, your own shop, you're doing a craft show, all of those little crafts definitely give you enough room to be able to price them out, give yourself a good margin, and still make them affordable for your customers. At the end of the day, you'd rather sell a whole bunch of stuff than just one little piece. So if you can make this much profit on this many items, it beats making this much profit on one. So let me know what you think of these ideas. Let me know what your favorite is. I know I've got a couple. I love the thought of taking something that you see in a thrift store, in a garage sale, we're coming up to that season, and finding a way to repurpose it, to reuse it, save it from the landfill, save it from a garbage site, and be able to use it yourself, be able to sell it to somebody else, maybe be able to gift it to somebody. Finding something and adding a little fresh potted flower to it, perfect way of being able to thank somebody and say that you're thinking of them. For all the paint and the supplies that we use, check out the website, queenbeecreationshome.com. And until next time, take care.